Uh, hi?
Hi.
What even what's what's going
Where are
on?
we? Where are
Yeah,
we?
hi, welcome to A/B testing. Alex is A and I mean technically technically
According to your parents, you're B.
technically I'm B. Yes, apparently. That's us, Alex, and oh, that says C though. Chef Brent. I don't know. I don't
We're
know.
ABC testing. We got all of it today.
Yeah, what even is going on today? So for a while we've been talking about what do we do if we want to do a stream and Brent fell off a cliff. Not that I'm
Wait,
not
no,
planning
that's
on
not
falling
the
off a cliff.
terminology we use. What do we do if we want to do a stream and Brent is on vacation or wants to take a week off, or if Brent wins the lottery? That's how we like to say it, Brent.
You're being kind. I get it. I
I
understand. I
mean, I don't,
understand.
are you doing a lot of like cliff tiptoeing here? I should know about. Yeah, yeah.
Not intentionally. No, no, definitely not a thing that I was anticipating doing. But so as you noticed, as Frackberg attempted to play the drop game, there's no drop game because this is not being produced in our normal environment. This is StreamYard. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I know that the two of you that are in chat that know my opinions on these tools are like, Brent, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But the reality is, I can't, can't I can't be on the hook for everything. It's not feasible.
Yeah. Although I think I need like a, $6,000 streaming rig that, paid for by Twilio so that I could be on the hook sometimes too, right?
Frankfurt. Frankfurt. What are you? I like how the Twitch the slash me is really exposing its behind the scenes IRC-ness of this. That is an
Yeah.
action that says judges you silently. Because on the back end, I don't know if you knew this, Alex, but on the back end, Twitch chat is IRC.
Oh,
It's a fancy IRC server, basically.
there you
But
go.
anyways, these tools are out there. Actually, I should let me put some music on. They've got a thing here. Let me do this. They've got a list of background music in
Mm.
here. Lots of it. I think we should do lo-fi, but
I mean, Into Space also sounds fun.
what is into space? Let
I
me
don't know.
let's turn this down a little bit. 30%. What's this? It's jammy, I guess.
I can get down to this.
All right, cool. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. Let's go back to our discussion here. We just needed something
Yeah.
underneath us to jam to. Chat, you have to let me know because I mean it sounds fine here, but if it's too loud, let me know. I can't hear that. I can only,
I can hear it a little bit, but like we're behind the scenes. Who knows what the world is hearing?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the balance. Just let me know if it's not good. I've got it set to 30 out of 100.
Yeah.
So how you doing today, Alex? How you doing
Good.
today?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you been up
I'm
to?
here. I was up to a lot. I was actually I had a really busy weekend. We were in Oakland over the weekend, or like I guess the hills behind Oakland for a family gathering, a family event. Took my daughter. She got to meet a bunch of her cousins that she hasn't met yet, which was super fun. But before that, and I think you'll want to talk about this with me, Brent, I hope. On Thursday, we did a quick stop in Vegas to go see Dead and Company at the Sphere.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
know
that's right.
you've been to the Sphere for like to see their like kind of more normal show or normal show. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anything there is normal. That place is wild. Um,
Yes, yes, absolutely.
and it was really I'm big Grateful Dead fan. I'm really excited and lucky that I got to go. Was supposed to go with my whole family, but had COVID, and so I planned this trip for the last weekend they were playing there. And you know, it was musically it was great. I mean, every spot in there sounds amazing. the graphics are so cool. I mean, you're so immersed in the entire experience. And it was a really, really, really awesome concert.
That's
And
cool.
then there was something that put it over the edge. So, the Grateful Dead did this thing where during intermissions they would actually still play music, and it would be their drummer would hang out and do a bunch of weirdness on the drums. It's called Drums in Space. It at this venue, because they did Drums in Space at this venue, it was the most wild thing I've ever experienced. It felt like this venue was built for this moment. So it's the drummer doing all these wild things with drums and these weird instruments and like vibrations. And it's a full 40 movie theater, or 40, it's not even movie theater, it's a full 40 experience. And so you're sitting in your seats, because this is the one time that I, wasn't dancing and sitting down, and it's like vibrating with the music. And it was the most immersive musical thing I've ever felt. Like it changed it from a concert to a full-on experience. It felt literally like the venue was made for it, and it was one of the wildest things I've ever experienced. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, they played some of my favorite songs. Any Deadheads out there? They played Saint Stephen and Uncle John's Band, which are two of my favorites. They ended on Casey Jones. We started with Iko Iko. It was a really fun show. I'm just really lucky I got to go and really glad. And I know Robertables said you're going to be there for reInvent.
You absolutely need to go, and you should talk to me, because like I'll tell you what, you want to spend a little bit more. Don't buy the cheapest seats up in the top, and don't buy seats off to the side. There is a sweet spot where they're expensive but not like absurd, and sitting just, I was talking about this last week, I think. Yeah, I do know your middle name. But like there's the best place to sit at the Sphere, like hands down, is center. Like
the 200 or 300 middle.
You want to be in like the 200 level towards the middle, and like I think that's true for the non-concert shows. I think like middle is absolute best. I've heard differing opinions on where to sit for concerts, but if you're just going for the movie, the show that they do on non-concert days, the middle is amazing. The center of the middle is amazing because you are completely immersed. It is like a fully expansive, surround your full peripheral vision kind of situation.
We were sitting off to the side. We were in 300. So there's the floor and the 100 level, 2, 3, and 400. We were in 300, a little off to the side. I felt fully immersed except for one thing, which was that when I was looking straight ahead, because I wasn't centered, everything seemed a little warped.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I felt immersed. So like I don't think that's there. It was super. And my friend, one of the people I went with had gone a few weeks earlier and sat in the 200 levels, and actually said that she kind of liked the 300s because you were a little more eye level with the screen, versus like looking up a little bit. But
yeah, it's really neat. So when I saw it twice. The I forget the name of the thing. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick. Let's see, the Sphere show. What is the name of this thing?
Something Earth, maybe.
It's something Earth. Yeah. It is. What the heck is it called? It's got to be here.
But Robertables, I know if reInvent is where it has been for the last, or where it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if it moves a lot. It's like right next to the Sphere. The thing itself.
Postcard from Earth. Postcard from Earth is the name of the show. And I think for my first tickets, I showed up for TwitchCon early last year. I was like, because it was my birthday right before TwitchCon. So I went out a little bit early, and I went to the Sphere before TwitchCon started. And I was like really excited, but I wanted to make sure I got good seats. So I did some research. I wanted to figure out where to sit that would have the best bang for the buck and all that stuff. And found out, middle or whatever. I want to say I didn't buy the most expensive ticket in the center sections. I looked for something that was like in the middle section, but sort of on the aisle of the middle section, like where a couple rows back from center, and it dropped in price a little bit at that point. I want to say it was $169 for like that really good seat. And you really like, I think the seats that I bought for the second time that I went with friends were closer to 80. Is it worth twice the price? I felt like it actually was. If you're only going to go once, like if you're only going to go once and you want to get the actual full experience of being immersed, I think you got to try to sit in the center.
And that was 80 was the price that you paid for that?
I'm looking now because it's probably going to depend. It's going to depend on day. It's going to depend on time. And so I'm looking at I'm going to look at a Wednesday 7 p.m. showing. Let me see what it says for like a Wednesday.
For concerts, it was like I spent in the 200s for my tickets that were 300 off to the side, and if I wanted center, it would have cost me $700 or $800, and I was just like, nah, I'm okay. Yeah,
so like the really expensive stuff. So I guess 300 center is kind of like one of the jams, basically. That is expensive, even for like a Wednesday 7 p.m. It doesn't take much for that to get like absurd. So like the center, I'm looking at like $278
for one of the normal shows. For
a normal show. Yeah, for a normal show.
Yeah, I don't think I want
That's a lot. That's a lot. I definitely did not pay that much.
80 seemed reasonable to me.
You can get so you can go up to section 4, which is a little higher than I'd like to be, but in the first row, if it's just a single seat, that's 137. So like you're just really gonna have to look around price wise. But I do think you want to sit in the center as much in the center as you possibly can, because it's just so cool.
It was the venue's amazing. It's the way they open the show is they've projected like fake scaffolding, so it looks like it's just like not. It's
that's
clearly
cool. Yeah,
I thought, like, I went in, I'm like, I don't know if this is real scaffolding, but it almost looks like it's real scaffolding, as in like you could see the structure behind it.
Yeah,
maybe it is, who knows. And then they have like the lightning bolt of the like from the Grateful Dead logo like open in the middle, and then they open the whole screen onto like the house they started in Haight-Ashbury, and then they slowly zoom out like all the way into space. It was wild.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
It was they did a great job. Also, musical side, John Mayer plays with them. John Mayer recently slammed his pointer finger on his fretting hand in a car door, and was still able to jam with 3 fingers.
Oh, nice.
Wild.
Okay, here's the tip that I have. So we're looking at the sphere here, right? This section here, this is the center absolute center. 278.25 director's seat package. I don't know what that even means.
Yeah.
But like, here's the deal. There's not a whole lot of difference between this seat that's 278 and this seat, which is 147.
No,
do yourself a favor, friends. Find something close to this aisle or close to this aisle on the day that you're going. There is negligible. These people, this person that's right here that's going to spend $278 has the same. These people are separated by stairs. This is a staircase. This is the person across the aisle from that paid. That's why these seats are all gone.
Yeah,
because they're the same price, or they're the same view effectively in this. But like, go 2 in. It
doesn't, and you can even see if you actually, you can see if you like go to one section out of that. I bet you they're even cheaper, and that's why people have the whole inside of that. People have taken too.
Oh yeah. And that's what I mean though. If you go one off of this center,
or just like
and just pick a seat, pick a seat as close to that aisle as you can get on that given day at that given time, you're gonna save $130 and
You can bring a friend.
you could bring a friend, which I did the second time I went. We sat like up here somewhere, on that day, and that's like $100, maybe $80.
I sat all the way off to the side, and I still felt fully immersed. So Bianca is here in chat with us, even though Bianca doesn't have a voice right now. She's it's a little scratchy, and so she's taking the day off.
Bianca asked.
We were talking about the best seats of the Sphere. That's right. And because I was there last weekend for the Grateful Dead show.
I'm looking to see what is the director's seat package at the Sphere. Like, does it come with anything for that absurd amount of money? A package that it does. Okay, so the director's seat, a package that includes the best seats in the house, section 306, expedited entry, which no joke, it takes a while to get in there. Yeah. So like you're getting a little bit of a thing there. I promise you're actually getting a bit of a thing there. It's like your quick TSA pre-check way to get in. Sounds all right. A pre-show drink and snacks and a t-shirt.
Oh, and a t-shirt.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they have really nice commemorative cups from the events that I took home with us for my daughter to play with.
Yeah, that's interesting. So like you are getting some stuff for the additional price there. Drinks. So like if it's an alcoholic bevy, like that's $20 value. They're not cheap in there.
No. My wife and I got drinks, and the total for the drinks was like $58.
I know,
because we got like drinks, and she's like, "Oh, I should have gotten beer. I didn't know they'd be so expensive." I was like, "No, our drinks were $26. The beers were $20. Doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference at all. It's expensive." And I made the mistake. I did not. I didn't eat before I went, so I ended up eating something there too. I snacked. I didn't like get a full blown thing, but I was very hungry, so like I had no choice but to. It's one of those things. What you gonna do?
Robertables, have you gone to the last couple of reinvents, or is it something that you're just starting to go to? I'm curious because I was on stage at one of them like 3 years ago. But I don't know if anyone saw me. They probably saw what I did. They didn't see me. I went the one in 2022. I wasn't at I think this was maybe it was, or no, I think it was 20. I'm trying to think when it was 2021, November 2021, because I got hired here at 2022. The guy who peed on stage, that was not me. And they were.
Are you sure?
Okay. I'm not gonna confirm nor deny whether or not that was me. No, I went. I was working at a robotics company, and we. Sorry, Frack. I'm sorry. I did confuse you. You're our two most loyal viewers, and I'm sorry for confusing the two of you. I apologize. I hope you can accept my apology, Frack. But
don't do anyone dirty like that. It's not fair.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I was working at a robotics company, and we specialized in robotics arm manipulation, and we the AWS folks were like doing a robotics announcement. They released something called RoboMaker, which was like a cloud hosted simulation environment for robotics. And they, as part of the announcement, they had all these like robots on stage. Like they had a robot dog of some sort. Not I don't think it might have been a Spot or something else. They had some like robot package carriers, and they had made a video where they had like a robotic arm with a bow tie, like as a bartender, and like that was like the promo video they made. And we happened to have some of those robotic arms, the same ones that they used, and so we were hired. They wanted to hire us to like come on stage and have the robot serve someone a beer. And it was like a little startup, scrappy company, and we didn't really want to do it. Right, it's right after Thanksgiving. So we gave them a price that we're like, they're gonna say no to this. Like they can't. And they within an hour, we're like, oh yeah, that's fine, let's do it. And so 3 of us went out there and got a robot to serve a beer on stage, which was fun. But,
nice.
Yeah, it was cool to just be at the opening for that. It's a wild thing. The only nice thing about it being Thanksgiving is I have family in Vegas, and I was already in Vegas for Thanksgiving, so I actually just stayed an extra few days. But no, they don't care about. They literally do it the weekend of Thanksgiving. But it's wild. The whole event was. I stayed for just the opening, and it was just like the most over the top thing I've seen in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
You excited for TwitchCon?
I'm excited for TwitchCon. I wish it. I feel a few ways because like it's back in San Diego this year. I enjoy Vegas. I understand why it's not in Vegas. I enjoy Vegas. I know a lot of people don't enjoy Vegas. I enjoy Vegas. So like, kind of a bummer to me that it moved back to another location. This seemed like it was a stopgap because, well, it feels like it was a stopgap. It going to Vegas seemed like it may have been a stopgap because they didn't have the contract extended through or something for San Diego. Okay. San Diego Convention Center is perfect for an event the size of TwitchCon though. So like, is
that bigger than the Vegas Convention Centers?
Vegas has a very interesting layout. It was big. It was big enough. Like they could run it there. It was big enough. Like they were only using one area of the total convention center surface. So like, it absolutely they could expand there. I just think San Diego's a really good fit. And I think that's where they would like to be more permanently. But yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one because I'm like, I don't. You know, it is what it is.
This weekend was DEF CON, and I happened to stay at the hotel across from the convention center. And I didn't bring enough tinfoil.
That's funny. That is really
Bianca
funny.
wants to know, what does one do at TwitchCon?
What does one do at TwitchCon? That is a very good question that I would happily answer.
Is everybody streaming?
So TwitchCon's like sort of one of those conventions where it is what you make out of it. So you know, one of the things there's obviously a big keynote. Like a lot of conventions have a keynote where the CEO and the community people, they get up and like they go out there and I do have a chef hat. I do have a chef hat, Janisku. But TwitchCon is like there's a big keynote where they announce like what's new and all of that stuff. There's sort of main stage content that goes throughout the event where they'll do things like they often have like a singing competition and there's like a cosplay competition and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of those kind of events going on. There's a whole thing called the creator camp where they teach you how to be a good streamer. And, you know, there's everything from the introductory material all the way up to how do you run a community and stuff like that. There's panels, like, you know, every convention has panels. There's some really cool ones this year. There's one from the like different creators of plugins and people that I look up to, like some of the folks here probably know Finite Singularity that's been, you know, writing a whole bunch of really cool plugins lately. Epos Fox, who I learned most of what I knew initially about OBS, is going to be on that panel. That panel is going to be ridiculous. It's like Epos Fox, Finite Singularity, BB Jess, who's like a really great creator. It's awesome. And then it's a big community event. So one of the things that I love is going to the different vendors. So like everyone that makes something that, you know, a piece of tech that you might use on stream or a new service or whatever, they're all there. So you can go, you can go and explore what's there. How much of TwitchCon focuses on the tech versus not? Like almost none of it focuses on the tech. I'll be honest with you. Like it's a mix. It's like, there is stuff about the tech of streaming. There's stuff about the community of streaming. There's stuff about the ethics of streaming. There's stuff about the business side of streaming. Like pretty much, you know what? I should just probably pull up TwitchCon, TwitchCon.com and talk through, because I think the sessions are out.
Can I do the
do you want to do the thing?
controls?
Do you want to do the thing? Yeah.
Woo!
Okay.
I hit a button.
Look at you. Look at you pushing buttons.
Yeah.
But if we go to like the schedule, this will be like the full blown like ridiculous.
I feel like maybe Bianca and I should have been on this train.
So like there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, probably. You would have gotten a lot. You would have gotten a lot out of it. But like the opening ceremony, that's the keynote thing. Artist Alley runs through the whole event. So if you've never been to a convention before, Artist Alley is where like artists from the community will prop up stuff and sell their stuff. So that runs through the whole event. So like you can see that runs every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can go buy cool stuff that people make. We'll
music
Bianca,
and ASMR sessions. Nice.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So like you've got different stuff, like they run music in different lounges. There's the Kappa Cabana is outside, so you can go outside, get a drink, go hang out, listen to people perform outside. And then there's also the lo-fi lounge. Like there's music that's going on the whole time. There's different like pop-up stuff that happens. There's interactive sessions.
Is the whole thing streamed?
Not the whole thing. A lot of the sessions are. So Creator Camp, I believe Creator Camp is entirely. This is the session. So this is a great panel, by the way. BB Jess is a fantastic streamer who does stuff with 8 bajillion different camera angles, and it's like live producer kind of thing, where she does music and like has this hand controller that switches all these different camera angles and everything. Fantastic performer. Blue Lava is from Twitch devs. Folks that are in here that are developers may have run into John Balava. He's on the essentially the DevRel side of Twitch. Okay. And then Epos Vox I already mentioned. Nutty's a fantastic creator that teaches people how to stream and shows them how to use cool plugins and stuff like that. Finite's been building all kinds of really cool stuff, and so is Crash. So like this is the kind of thing where like you're gonna learn a lot from this session. And this session, I think all of Creator Camp is being streamed.
Nice. Maybe I'll just have to catch it on stream.
But yeah, you can catch sessions on stream. You can catch like recordings of stuff.
The
usually
Art of Interactive Twitch Streams 101.
There's so much good food on that one. There's so much. This one's a sponsor.
Capcom.
Capcom and Chevron. Right.
I've always wanted to learn how to stream from
Chevron. Yeah,
oil and gas companies. yeah.
But like I said, there's all kinds of good stuff here from that perspective. There's Twitch.
We had some other questions in stream. Is there a Cuphead tournament?
Probably not. No. Okay. Unlikely.
Didn't think so. Lori wants to know.
The loot cave is a big deal. There will be like custom merch that you can get from TwitchCon. It looks like they're actually previewing it this year, so like it's not a full surprise. But I always buy the event T-shirt and the event hoodie. But there's all kinds of stuff there.
Brent, I'm working on a something to put patches on. If you see a cool patch, think of me.
Patch.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the big things is not patches but pins.
Yeah.
They do
pins are great too.
They do blind pin packs. So like you don't know what you're gonna get. It's you could get one of 6 different things in the pin pack. Yeah. They're not super expensive.
Yeah.
I probably have some of those around here somewhere.
Either a patch or a pin pack. Get it. I'll hit you back.
Pin packs we can definitely hook you up with some.
Yeah.
The Lo-Fi Lounge is new for 2024. Oh, it's Silent Disco.
Looks like a Silent Disco. Have you been to a Silent Disco before?
I have. They did one.
I have too.
At this was years ago. One of my first years at Twilio. I went to Google I/O with Ricky Robinette, and at their party, they had a Silent Disco.
Got it.
That was my first experience with those.
I feel like I don't know if I've been to one elsewhere. I've been to a few at music festivals. A lot of times it'll be like at a music festival, like the late night thing they'll do is that, because it's a little more toned down. It is very funny to like be dancing and then somebody else is like clearly on a very different beat than you are.
Yes.
Can you like notice their color of their thing is the same, or you like slowly start to see everybody change colors because like one vibe is better than the other, or you just take them off after a while and you're like, people are just like yelling songs.
Yeah.
They're very funny.
So like one of my favorite things, and I have streamed TwitchCon in multiple past years, have streamed from the entire event. I don't know about that this year. It's a lot. The
other side of that, is that like a little passe? Like, are you like, is everybody just streaming the event?
A lot of people stream the event.
Right. So like at that point, are you just like, I don't know.
What's the question? Ask the question you're actually.
How do I put it this way? Like, I feel like if a lot of people are doing it, it just like kind of
here's the angle. Here's the angle and why it's been fun to do. Is that it is for your community. It is your view of the event that you're at. Mm-hmm. You are bringing your community to TwitchCon. Essentially, like, it's a POV. Like, come with me to TwitchCon. We're gonna go walk the show floor the entire day, and like, it's basically IRL streaming is very much, which is what that is. Yes, Revertables has absolutely donated to get me to buy food on stream multiple times. But that's the thing, is it's an alternate view of an event that's going on, and it is your perspective that you're imbuing on it. So my big thing, I was just queuing up, my big thing is the expo floor. So the expo floor, some people probably could not care any less about the expo floor.
Yeah.
For me, this is where like OBS sometimes has a booth. This is where like all of your vendors that do microphones and cameras and that kind of stuff will be. There's
so brands. See what Elgato's working on.
Elgato, yeah, they'll be there. Like, everybody that's kind of interesting in this space will be there. Plus different, like, it's very gaming forward. So there's all kinds of like game companies that'll set up booths and stuff like that. There's a lot to see on that floor. And I think that was always the best thing to stream, was like, what is even going on this floor? What's new this year? Is there anything cool that I should be checking out? And I would get that, the expo floor is always the most fun, I think. But yeah. I dig it. I dig it from that perspective. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be on, essentially, for a whole event. And this year, the downside for me this year is that I do not have anybody else from the community that's going, and streaming IRL solo can be difficult. If you don't like, to RJ Pearson's point, the IRL backpack. So I've got a backpack of gear. I've got like the stream encoder, and I've got a camera running into that. I've got my phone with chat on it. Now I've got to go to the bathroom.
Did you take it with you?
Ideally, ideally, I pass that off to somebody else that's there with me.
Got it.
And
so
let
what you're
them
saying
run the
is
show for a few.
We should see if we can get some last minute T&E for Bianca and I to show up.
I mean, listen, I'm not against having friends join. That would be fun. We can ask that. We can ask that question. I don't know what the answer is going to be, but we could definitely ask that question.
Hey, we just pushed some things around. We might have that. That sounds fun. And you could stream the bathroom. It will get you banned on Twitch. Just ask Dr. Disrespect, because that actually did happen. That actually did happen. You know what? That's ban forever or temporary ban? How do they
should have been a permanent ban, but like, he decided to get permanently banned for other reasons. So.
Okay. I mean, it is Doctor Disrespect. Come on, like the guys. Yeah, as Bianca said, the name sounds like trouble.
Yeah, if you don't keep up with the streaming world news, it's outside of the scope for this stream. But yes,
got it.
That person has gotten themselves in some nice hot water recently. Not the comfortable kind. Not the comfortable kind.
Sorry, I don't even know what this is, but it's very funny. Came in like a lion when out playing Roblox in silence.
That's fairly accurate. Okay, so oops, I hit show after you hit hide. That's great. 2 producers, 1 house. How are we doing that?
Yeah, let's
might
share.
Be wondering. So I mentioned earlier, but like we're using StreamYard today.
Mm-hmm.
Shut it, Robertables. We're using StreamYard today. I've done the best that I can to make this custom for us. This is a custom layout, not a baked in default StreamYard setup. This is our layout. It's close to the layout that we typically use. No rounded corners. Sorry, StreamYard doesn't support them, but like ultimately the reason that we're looking at this is it's a very easy way to live stream, and it's very easy for me to go on vacation and have Alex be able to produce it. Alex, push the button that takes us back to the 2 cameras.
Wait, do you want to be like normal 2 cameras or just like intense 2 cameras?
Look at that. See, Alex knows. See, Alex can produce the show. So
yeah,
that's the main driver here is
letting me produce something. I feel like I feel like this was like, kind of that like 20% of the effort, 80% of the results. It's not perfect.
No,
I think it's like I would give it like a solid B. It's a good 80%.
Yes.
But you said it didn't take that much work to set up. It's not that hard to teach me. This is just a really good backup to have for, when Brent goes to TwitchCon, gets voted Twitch Streamer of the Year and decides to just do that full time.
This is the point here, though. Like the problem with being the guy is that the guy can't take vacation. And I've proven that wrong.
You can, but only 6 days in a row.
I've proven that wrong, but I have to travel with so much gear to make it happen. Now, I often travel with that gear anyways, so it's not like I'm going out of my way, but like in some respects I am going out of my way because I'm having to set up a whole production setup just to do this show while I'm at my dad's, when in reality, do we gain a lot of like nice additional features? Absolutely. Is it like the 5% icing, the cherry on top kind of thing that we're missing? Yes, it's those things that we're missing. But like the bulk of what we need, camera feeds, screens, the ability to switch between them very easily.
Yeah,
that's all here.
This is very
only things I didn't add in here, which hopefully we don't end up needing it, is like I don't have a be right back loop at the moment, but that's easy to add. I can create a video, give it a 1 or 2 minute loop, and then we've got a be right back loop. It's not terrible, and it has improved. Like I really did not like StreamYard, and the reason why I'm like shut it is because I've definitely had opinions on this tool in the past, very strong opinions on this tool in the past, and I've people grow and things grow, the product itself can grow. So the thing is, there's more stuff in here. Yeah. Hard. Exactly. I'm not gonna bleep it. I'm not gonna bleep it the way I bleep auto, but I have opinions. The thing with this was, okay, we got any other mods or just me? I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, you haven't made me a mod yet.
Right, I need to do that. I need to do that. Need to mod y'all up.
Yeah.
Let's
I was looking, and like the mods, half of them aren't at Twilio anymore.
Yeah, well that's definitely true. Wait, I don't have permission to perform that action.
Who does?
I gotta do it on Twilio devs. No, I did it on mine.
Okay. We'll figure it out later. But I want the little sword. Is that what I get? I get a little sword next to me.
You do. I'll add you. I'll add Bianca.
Yeah.
Yeah, we demodded some folks during Signal because like it was like half of DevNet.
Yeah.
Half of DevNet had mod, and then we had community members that had mod, and it was like if everybody from those two things was chatting, it just looked like sword.
Yeah.
And it just looked weird. So we didn't want to do that. But it's StreamYard. So this is
StreamYard all the way down.
This is the jam, yeah, all the way into infinity on this side. This always reminds me. Have you played Contra on NES back in the day? This reminds me of like the levels where you're going towards the screen and the bullets are shooting off towards the back of the screen because it's very similar, like how they actually implemented that's very similar.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that. Twilio bots added again, definitely added again. But what's really neat, how does it feel? I don't like letting go, and I especially don't really love letting go if I thought it was going to cause a massive quality drop.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, like if we look at settings here under layouts, I've turned off a lot of their default stuff. Yeah. I turned off a lot of their default stuff because to me, this like their default version of this scene is this. And when I see this in this exact layout, I go, oh, that's a StreamYard stream. They all look the same because they have the exact same layout dimensions, the exact same, like the cameras go on this side and they're this particular size and that's where your screen goes. And I'm like, no, the cameras go over there and the screen's more important than those cameras when I'm doing a screen thing. So I made my own version of that scene. And that one little tweak to me, that one little tiny tweak of saying, difference. let me not use the default. Let me mix it up. So the casual viewer coming in here that sees this setup right now won't necessarily know that this is StreamYard because this is custom dimensions.
That reminds me a little bit of like mid 2000s when everyone was using Bootstrap CSS and every website looked the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's that same vibe.
Every StreamYard stream that doesn't get in here and do a little bit of work, they all look the same. And I despise that. Like I really do. Like it hurts my brain it is absolutely the bootstrap of streaming.
Yeah.
And so many people started using this during COVID,
which is
that, like
great.
You could just look around and you'd be like, yeah, you need a tool, but like make it your own. And the problem was ultimately when this launched, they didn't have custom layouts. They didn't have custom layouts, but like you can now come in here and you can click this edit layout button. And now all these different things are resizable. This is a camera grid. If we added another person, they'll show up underneath, right? Yeah. And I can drop away. I can drop away.
Bye-bye.
You know what I mean? And that works here too. So it just moves Alex into the main.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the thing.
It's pretty easy for me to do this without running everything on my machine with OBS.
Exactly.
I think what was our other alternative to this was to build the whole OBS setup in AWS.
Oh yeah, which
in
is
the cloud,
like,
which is doable, but a lot of work.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Like I can probably show you what that looks like. Like I can show folks what that looks like too. But this is there's a lot we can do here. So some of these features did not even exist, like as Tables is pointing out. This is why B told me to shut it for this very reason. But we get chat, and you can click on a chat to make it show up.
The other thing that was really nice is that it records locally. Like the recording is done locally and uploaded, so we got high quality recordings across the board.
So you can see that happening here. We're being recorded locally on machine, so like it's getting the full quality of my OBS virtual camera, and it's getting full quality from Alex.
Get to see my new haircut in full quality.
It's saving those out into separate files. Why is that important, friends? that's important because right now, like, you know, for some of our stuff, if we wanted to go reuse the video from it, it's not good. Oh, and not only is it not good, but right now you're looking at our camera's postage stamp size with a big blown up picture of the screen. What if I wanted to cut a social video and I needed Alex's full camera because I wanted to cut away to Alex's full camera?
You just need this.
I'm like,
just me.
But I don't want that right now. I want this. But I could have this go out to stream, but I'll also have access to your full camera later if I wanted to cut over to that in full quality. It affords some things that are difficult to do on your own solo. Yeah.
And then the other side of this too is like I don't want to say stepping into a new role, but I'm like starting to do more webinars even than I was before. And like we're thinking about using this as the back end for webinars to stream the webinars because of that recording setting. And if I can get used to it here on stream and I'm using it, then for the webinars, it's just going to make those even better.
Yeah. So we can use this.
There's a lot of opportunity here.
We can use this to stream anywhere. Right now, as you can see, it's streaming out to our Twilio Devs YouTube and it's streaming out to Twilio Devs Twitch. But like when you go into edit here, you could go to LinkedIn, you could go to our main Twilio YouTube, you could go out to Twilio Devs on Twitter.
We can stream on Twitter.
And then our webinar backend is Big Marker. I was playing around with this. So there's custom RTMP is one of the places you can go out to. You can also go out to Instagram. This also supports vertical streaming.
So would then we have like two separate feeds of like different, like if we did Instagram Live, how would we manage, like would it look, because one's vertical, one's horizontal?
Yeah. So I think the thing is you do either or at the moment with StreamYard. I'm certain that they'll add like both like at some point. Yeah, like a second canvas for your vertical, because that's becoming a thing. I bet they'll have an update for that eventually.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend who's starting to do webinars with his company on LinkedIn, and they were LinkedIn Live, and they're using StreamYard as the back end to produce them all.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was one of the only ways to do that for a while. This and like Restream Studio.
Yeah. So are you using your Stream Deck at all to control this?
So here's how you can. Am I at the moment? No. But that's a very good question. Part of this stream, friends, was like, hey, Alex, you're going to have this as a production tool. What do you need to know? Ask me questions while I'm live with you. So the way that works, wow, we've got the bots today, don't we? Don't we? They're out in abundance. They're out in abundance. All right, that's another one. Another one bites the dust.
You know what that means?
We're popular.
We're popular enough to get bots.
We're popular. I think it just means we're live. There's another way.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair enough, right? Under settings, you can go to hotkeys. This is how you can get this set up. So under hotkeys, you can go to layouts, and then there's different settings for how these are set up. You know, I don't know if shift 1, shift 2, shift 3 is the right answer. Maybe control alt shift or command option shift or whatever might be better for some of these, but I can come in here and set.
So you could set these and then
let's do what's our screen plus cam grid. We'll do this will be control alt shift 2, and then our what's the other one?
Deck you can do. And then you can set them. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was looking, there's no like set StreamYard plugin on.
No.
Yeah.
I think this is group layout is the one where it's the two of us. Let me look real quick. Layouts.
I'm gonna take myself off screen. I need to go quick bio break. I had a little too much
fair enough
before we got started.
Go for it.
Wait, I gotta figure out how to take myself.
It's on your thing. Just remove from stage. Yeah, there he's gone. Okay. And then the other thing that we'll do is we'll set a hotkey for, and I'll show that in a second, tables. The send keystroke. We want group layout. I'm gonna make this one control alt shift 1. So then I'll just test them. So Control Alt Shift 1 should go to the group layout, and Control Alt Shift 2 should go back here. I promise you I did that with keyboard shortcuts. And then I'll pull up the Stream Deck software. I'll wait for Alex to come back. But we'll do this on my Stream Deck Plus. A/B testing here on we'll just do a new page. And I'll wait for Alex to come back. Y'all. We'll go solo. Alex is coming back. See Alex.
Woo!
Alex is back.
Wait.
That. I gotcha.
Cool. Sweet. Yeah, and then you add it as like a hotkey.
So I have Control Alt Shift 1 goes to here, and Control Alt Shift 2 goes to here.
Okay.
So now that I have that, I'm gonna pull up my Stream Deck software, and I've got my Stream Deck Plus. This is the one that has the knobs on it.
Yeah.
And then in here you would just go to, you can do
there's like a hotkey.
You can do hotkey from system. Yeah. And you just drop that in here, and you come in and say, okay, so this is the group layout. I'll just say group, and that's Control Alt Shift 1. And then I can throw another one on here, and this one would be the screen plus cam, and that one was Control Alt Shift 2. And now I can just press those buttons. So this goes back to group.
Yep.
And this goes back to screen plus grid. And as Frog says, you never know whether I actually did press that or not, but you're just gonna have to trust me.
Oh, I just realized one thing that we're missing from here.
What's that?
Lower thirds.
Lower thirds, yes. We don't have our like core lower thirds, but under brand there is a show display names. So like you can do that, and then there's headlines, but I don't know. This is from when I was testing. Look, I can pretend that I am Frog. Because I think when I was testing stuff originally, I wanted to have different names in there or something. But yeah, I'm the manager now. I don't know where those are actually even set, but that's funny. Is that in here? I don't know where that is. Guests?
I just had. Oh no, you hit you click in and hit edit name. That's how you change your display name. But then it only lets you change the headline.
Edit name and headline. On. No, here it is.
Where'd you get? No. But look, I'm toggling the headline.
No.
But if I toggle the headline off,
stop toggling. Video producer guy. Yeah, that's the one. Video producer guy.
There you go.
Okay, so it had to be turned on. I gotcha.
Yeah, which is a little annoying because you can't you'd have to set it way in advance.
Is that my manager voice? Yeah. Look at me, I'm the manager now. Ha ha ha. You, Alex, I've got a new task for you, bud.
Yeah, well, it was funny, Toe Frog was just a teammate and then became a manager, and yeah, his voice totally changed. And he can't get on here to defend himself. I mean, he can in chat if he wants to, but yeah, his voice totally changed when he, Bianca agrees.
Stop toggling. That's a good t-shirt. Man, I
guess that's the one risk here, which is like, how many chefs can you have in the kitchen? At some point.
How many chefs can you have is Janiscu still here? I feel like I owed Janiscu something, and then I don't know if they stuck around long enough for the payoff. Okay. Unfortunately, they mentioned I should have a chef hat for my dude, but we all do know that I do have a chef hat for it.
Yeah,
in there. Alex, we need a meeting.
yeah.
Right, so this,
my schedule's all booked, Toe Frog. I'm sorry.
So in the brand section, like you can play around with.
Do you have the Twilio Red memorized, or do you have to look at
F22, F46? Yeah, I also have 121C2D memorized, which is our ink color. But yes, I do have those memorized 100%. I don't have all of them. I don't have our new ones, like our secondary, like the mint, the green one, sky. I know the names of them. Mint, our green color, sky, We have saffron, which is our yellow color, and sun,
Mm.
which is our orange color.
Yeah, our colors
I don't
are
have all
very
those colors.
bright, but they're good. They're good.
Yes, quite bright. But yeah, I got a lot of things. Pro tip: Brent will guide you in all your kitchen purchases. That is absolutely true. I can definitely help you there. 3366699 Rebecca Purple. Yes, that is true. Yeah. So StreamYard is a bunch of stuff, right? So you've got. When did you realize you like these things? Oh, that's a really good question. Since we are kind of like this is the stream tech. This is a stream tech show. When did I realize I liked these things? I want to say my first exposure to this kind of production would have been in like 2015, 2016, something like that. I don't know. I think the first time I started playing with these tools, I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. Cameras are neat, microphones are neat. I've always had a bit of an itch for or a bit of an inclination towards design, like how things look and feel. I was in a past life, I've been like a UX guy. You know, I've worked on UX teams, representing like the developer side of stuff. So like I've given a ton back when I used to do presentations. I've given a ton of presentations on different aspects of design. So I always thought, I've always been interested in that kind of stuff. And then when you layered on video, like,
yeah,
what is interesting about live video production? It's like you can do whatever you want. Like it can be anything you want it to be if you learn the tools. And
there's also a challenge element to it, right? Like you don't have the like, I don't know. I kind of like that about live coding too, or dislike it. I haven't decided yet. But it's like there's an edge of like, but you're doing it live. Like there's not a lot of room for error.
There's less. I'm gonna swap us.
Yeah. Oh,
that looks
how'd
wrong.
you swap us?
I removed myself and re-added myself.
Yeah, I like this one better.
You're looking at correct. It's the correct layout.
You're looking at
the way my guy is facing. Technically, yeah. I wonder if that's a thing that I could get. Probably wouldn't be too hard. I can maybe do that myself. I was gonna say like if I can get my dude to face the other direction.
Can you just mirror your camera?
It's not gonna look right. I don't think.
Why not?
Well, because I feel like the cup is probably gonna look wrong, and it really won't work with my other cups. It definitely won't work with my other cups.
Oh, because there's something written on them?
Yes. Yes. But yeah, when is an interesting question. But yeah, probably like the question was when did I realize I like these things? Well, depends on what aspect. Like I feel like all of them are related. I feel like my initial, I could probably look this up. I was gonna say when did I make my earliest tutorials? That would be that's an interesting question to answer first, probably, because that would tell you when like video became a thing for me. I think I could 14 years ago.
Wow.
Let me move this StreamYard window out of the way. And then we can go here. But yeah, I made tutorials for a product that used to be called Monotouch. Monotouch became Xamarin. Xamarin was purchased by Microsoft, and they've done stuff with that since then. But like, 14 years ago, I made these tutorials for how to get started with this product. So I mean, that's the genesis for me as video editor. Okay. I think, live came later, but
yeah.
I got exposure to Twitch. I was like, this is interesting. One of the first things that we streamed, as Tables is sort of alluding to, one of the first things that we streamed was the very, very, very earliest versions of the cooking show that became Cooking with Heat, which was the show that I helped produce. Cooking with Heat.
What else do you cook with?
Cooking with Heat is from an old George Carlin sketch, It's like it's this sketch about book titles, and like it's just all these like really weird book titles, and one of them was Cooking with Heat. So like that's the name of the show, but that's a show that I did for years on a different channel, on the LE Face channel. But that was one of the first things that we did. And I also streamed programming like back in 2016. That was my entry point when my channel was not Chef Brent. It was not Heck Brent, for those of you that were around for that iteration. It wasn't the Chef Brent before that. My Twitch name was Brent Schooley. It was my name, my full name. which made sense when I was mostly doing Twilio stuff. But it was less fun as I went forward. But yeah, it was actually self-dox, dude. There's so much public me out there. I can't. Everyone that wants to know my name knows my name. Like, it's fine. Everyone knows I live in Philly. Several people know exactly where in Philly, probably because of online stuff. It's
fun.
I'm self-doxed like to the T. It's fine. That happened a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, to answer the question, like when, I guess 2010, 2009-ish is like when I realized video was a cool thing that I could probably get involved with.
Nice.
The design stuff right around the same time period, I guess, from a career standpoint. I started doing UX on the project that I was working on at the time at Lutron Electronics. I was working on I wonder if I could probably pull up what that looked like, but I worked on the software for a project called Radio Raw 2. I worked on the GUI for that, for setting up home systems, and then I moved to the iPad application for that same product, and like almost everything that I was touching was UX related, design related. How does this look? How does it feel to use that? What's the animation for? I did a bunch of custom animation back then, and then I started making tutorials, and then my next job after that was as a developer focused interaction designer. So like I come by all the design stuff, honestly. Like I've done it professionally. And then when I got to Twilio, we were doing stuff. I was doing some small scale stuff on YouTube, but then I think that was around the time it was livecoding.tv or livecoder.tv or something like that. It was a very short-lived developer focused streaming platform that had really bad founders, like really bad. Like the people that started the project ended up being the kind of people that just sort of flame themselves out on Reddit and expose themselves to be the kind of people that maybe you don't want to work with, and they burned every bridge under the sun. But we were toying with that, and we were toying with using Twitch for programming, and I'm like, I could do that, and that became a thing that I did every week. And then obviously I've done gaming streams, I've done cooking streams, I've done IRL out in the world streams.
Your first live streams were at Twilio?
No, but my early streams were. I mean, like first maybe not technically, but early for sure. Definitely for sure.
Robertables wants to know the why, not just the when.
Oh, the why. The why. That's good. Adding on to the question, the when, but the why. I think live provides something that recorded video does not, which is the community aspect. The you being able to ask that question and get the answer to it right now, as opposed to dropping it in the comments and hoping that I actually read my comments and respond to you, is a fundamentally different paradigm, and one that I quite enjoy. It does create situations where the stream goes in directions I didn't anticipate them going. Almost every stream that I do solo goes in a direction that I didn't expect it to. We call them tangents, and we're very good at following them and not knowing how to get back from where they started. Like I've definitely lost content because I was talking about an OBS plugin. Like I was talking about a specific OBS plugin. Somebody asked something tangential to that, And then that spawned a new tangential topic. That spawned a new tangential topic. And heaven forbid, if I closed the tab for the thing that we were talking about, we're never getting back there.
Yeah.
That's the reality. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. And I think that's fun though. Yeah, pop the stack. Sometimes we can pop the stack successfully. It is possible to like unravel and like, oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about that plugin. When we were talking about that plugin, we started talking about music, and then we started talking about this artist, and somebody saw them in concert in Texas. So then I started talking about a conference that I went to in Austin, and then we started talking about barbecue, and then somebody started talking about Kansas City versus Texas barbecue. You know what I mean? Like, how are you ever going to get back to the plugin, which was
we were on Ticketmaster earlier today.
Yeah, it's like how do you get back to, oh, I was showing you a plugin that shows the currently playing song info on stream.
Yeah.
We were just talking about pulled pork in Kansas City. How do I get back to? And sometimes like your viewers can help you. Like your viewers can help you sometimes if you've gotten into the weeds, but it is very much stream of consciousness sometimes. And they also, there's a term, they call it streamer brain. Where like you'll get so locked into some aspect of what you're doing with stream that you're not catching the other things that are going on. Like you're not catching that Toefrog said, I love streaming as a platform for content and sharing the journey of learning. Or like, you know, love the stream of thought. Like you could totally miss stuff in chat.
Yeah.
So if you ever join a stream that has a very popping chat, don't be surprised if the streamers miss your comment.
It's really hard to do live coding solo on stream because it's hard to pay attention to the chat and code at the same time.
It's tough. It's really hard. It's very tough. It's very tough.
One of the things I like about just comparing streaming to video production is with video production, it's very much like plan, record, and then edit. And that edit phase can take a while. And it can be hard. There's something that I really like about like prepare, show up, and do it. Where it's like, because we like finish this stream and it's not then like a recording where, okay, we got more work to do. It's like we finish the stream and we're like, sweet, see you next week.
We have more work we could do.
Yeah.
That to me is the fundamental difference is like, we could even
pick our nose on stream if we wanted to.
I could. You probably couldn't get away with it as easily as I could, but we don't stream to be productive. No, but that's funny though, because I did it's interesting because I did do a bunch of streams back in the day. Robertables will remember this, but I did a bunch of streams where I edited video.
Yeah.
On stream. And like that, I used it as a working session, and I got to bounce ideas off. I got to bounce ideas off of chat. I'd be like, "Hey, did that land? No, like your intro there, like it didn't have enough energy, or like whatever. Signal setups, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm doing some stuff off screen at the moment to like maybe show some stuff, but yeah."
Look, I earlier today was on a call with Bianca that turned into me just showing her a presentation I was working on so that we could talk through it, and she gave me great ideas. And it's kind of, that's like, I could have also done that on stream in theory. Like there's no reason I couldn't have, like, while I was making the presentation yesterday, popped on stream. Not that anyone's gonna watch me right now, but you know, one day.
Well, it's definitely a thing you could do. You're absolutely right. It's definitely something you could do.
Right. So that's a whole thing there. Do you want to hear a weird one for me? This is so.
Go for it.
Before getting hired at Twilio, I was working at a robotics company. I got fired. Greatest thing that ever happened to me, getting fired from that company. Because I'm here now and I like this better. I get it's less stressful. I make more money, and I really like the people I work with and what I do. So good move. But in the middle, I was doing this whole like, you know, find my purpose journey, because you know, when you're unemployed, you can get lost a little bit. And I was trying to do this whole thing, and there was meditations and other things I I tend to be a little more esoteric in that way. So I was doing a meditation, and I had this one meditation that was like YouTube, just YouTube videos, like do YouTube videos, and then I came out of that and I was like, nah, that's not me. I don't want to do that. And then, like, lo and behold, it's less than a year at Twilio, and they're like, "You want to make some more videos? You want to be on camera more? You want to do webinars?" I'm like, "It happened."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So when that kind of stuff happens, it's always super cool. But I'm, happy to be here playing with this, and being able to be guided by the lovely Chef Brent.
Lovely,
to
lovely,
get through this. Yeah, lovely.
Trying to load something up here. Let's see. I think folks have an idea of what a streamer is. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Actually,
What do you mean,
Bianca asked a question earlier.
Yeah, there was a
that
question.
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
About so you've been in the streaming for a while. Like, when's the first time you went to TwitchCon?
When's the first time I went to TwitchCon? Oh, that's a good question. 2016, 2017. It would have been one of those two.
So I think, like, we've seen what might be the peak, and I don't know if we're at peak influencer culture right now, but like that's there. How has the Twitch community changed, or TwitchCon changed with the kind of like with influencer culture being what it is, or what it was, or what it
I guess I'd question whether it has. I mean,
okay,
when a platform has been, like, by and large, everybody that does, I don't want to say everybody, but almost everybody that does work, like does streams, creates video, whatever, in some aspects has to have some of that quote unquote influencer as part of what they do. Yeah. Otherwise, like, you're not trying to build your audience. Like, what are you even doing if you're not attempting to have, something?
True.
Right.
True.
Although your point's valid, though, like Bianca says, I think folks have an idea what a streamer is, and it can sometimes inhibit folks who don't have being an influencer as a goal shying away. So, like, I think anybody that's going to put their opinions out and is going to do something in a video medium these days is by nature an influencer. But, like, you may not be trying to influence anybody. Like, that's the point. But I get what you're saying. Like, what is observed as a quote unquote influencer. I think it has positives and negatives, I suppose. Like, the folks that have, monetization's a thing, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think the difference is, like, I agree with, because Roberto Bowles also said, like, everyone's an influence, and I think you're right. Like, I'm out here trying to influence everyone in tech stuff. Like, that's why I'm here. But I think the difference is the culture of seeing social media as a lottery ticket to becoming famous and to making money. I think that's what I'm talking about with influencer culture, and I think that's what Bianca's getting at here too.
I think, and I hope. Well, I mean, I hope. I don't necessarily know. I don't think that this is the case, but, like, I hope most folks realize that your chances of becoming big, like, by luck, are low. You are only going to grow by working. If this is something that you want to do as a pathway to make a little bit of extra money, you're going to need to put in work. Like, it's not going to do much. Like, it's not going to do a lot for you if you're not putting in the work. Now, that's not to say that there's zero money. This is a dinner this month.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit? Sorry.
Sure. Oh wait, wrong window. Let me go here. Like, that's a dinner, right? Yeah. I mean, like, it's small potatoes. It's obviously, like, this is a little bit of effort that I did for Prime Day.
Yeah.
This is Prime Day, right? Ultimately. And it's, ask the question, if I streamed more often, would I be making money that might be interesting to look at? It sure looks like it. based on what, that's 3 streams, 4 streams. Like, it's not that,
Yeah.
You can look at the breakdown. Like, I'm not shy. Like, I don't make much off of this at the moment because I don't put anything into it.
Right.
But I don't make $0 on it.
But you're also doing it because you enjoy it.
Exactly. I'm not trying to do this to curb, but this is a 30-day period. I made $20.
Yeah.
It's it's stuff I did on the side, and I made more than
Does
$20
that include
because
referrals
this doesn't include the Amazon payout that I got for during Prime Day. So I mean, there's a double dip that happened in this time period. But like we're saying, though, that's not the focus for everyone. It's not the focus for me either. But for people that are focusing on it from that perspective, there's money to be made there for sure.
And I think there's 2 sides to that. One being like the beauty of people being able to do the thing they enjoy and they love, make the art that they want, and monetize it. That's great. I think there's the other, maybe, I don't know if it's darker, there's just the other side of it, which is like people doing it for the money. Yes. And I think that's different. I think that there's different things there. And I think my hunch is that probably the people doing it for the money are the minority if they're even showing up at TwitchCon. Because they,
okay, so people that are in it for XYZ are likely to be in the minority. Like, the stats on this are kind of mind-boggling. Like, I don't think people understand the scale of content creation. How many videos?
Revertables is saying that you don't make money on live streaming, and Twitch doesn't really promote you. You bring your audience to Twitch. So yeah, I mean, look, I know that there was times where I was watching like game streams, but I would almost always watch the YouTube supercut because it's more fun.
3.7 million new videos are uploaded to YouTube every day.
I thought that was people on Twitch. That's so many videos.
That's the number of videos that are uploaded to YouTube every day. So like, when you start thinking about, how often do I need to post to YouTube and like blah 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 blah, like, it almost doesn't matter. I mean, you are competing for the audience that you can find with anything that you put out.
500 hours of video are uploaded per minute.
Yes. I mean, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. The number. I wanted to pull something up while we're here.
What's that?
This
is virtual machine.
What you're looking at here is a VM. Yes. This is actually, let me crack it open here.
Oh, is this your OBS VM?
This is an OBS VM. In particular, this OBS VM is from Signal TV 2022 in particular. Let me just close some stuff there. But like, this is an actual OBS instance. Let me unlock. Are the docs unlocked? No. Unlock the docs. This is very similar to the setup that I use now for y'all. Which I could also show to like show you that these things evolve. But like, if I had these things set up correctly. But like, these are the different cameras that are coming in. These are the different scenes. Obviously the resolution's kind of zoomed up here for some reason. But this was the build for, some things are broken, I guess. But this was the build for Signal TV in 2022 that folks connected to produce, as Tofrog was mentioning earlier. I built this particular Signal setup live on Twitch, like, just to show what all goes into building this, this massive set of scenes that, what goes into making this thing work. I've definitely shown that before on stream. It's wild, like, what you can do. Like, we could technically, Alex, if we wanted to, have our cameras show up in here, because like, this is just Video Ninja, which we use, every week other than this week for this show. But this is just AWS instance running in Virginia somewhere. It's locked to an OBS version that's like 3 major versions ago, I guess, at this point, which is a lot when you think about it. But this is the alternative. And what's cool with this, what's the resolution set to in here? What's cool with this, I guess it's set to 1920 by 1080. You're probably what would happen if I did 4K?
This is easy to read.
It is. It's very blown up. It's very blown up. I think the scale is just set to 2x or something. But anyways, this is an OBS setup. This is a you and you asked what is Parsec. So Parsec started off as a way to connect to other gamers.
Yeah.
It was a game setup. And during COVID, they did a full-on pivot to go after work and enterprise and that sort of thing. This is where I got this dark mode thing on. A lot of game developers. You're gonna see a lot of game developers in here. Why? Because this does like 4K streaming.
Is this how they remoted into their crazy?
This is how they remoted into their machines during COVID. Yes, absolutely. This was like how the industry pivoted to be able to do work essentially during COVID to build games because it works in high fidelity. So I just think that's interesting. It's a cool solution. So this is what's cool with this is like multiple people can connect to this at the same time. That's what it was built for, right? So during Signal, Tofrog would connect to this, and Joe Nash, who used to work at Twilio, connected to this. And then we've got kind of like our setup right now in StreamYard, where we could both control StreamYard, we could both control OBS, and where it got really interesting, where it got like, I can't believe we were able to do that level of interesting is if we dig a little bit here. Stream stuff, virtual here. There's a thing called virtual here, which is something that I discovered before 2022, I think. I don't think I had it in 2021.
Is this the one where you could like basically virtualize your Stream Deck?
Yes. So virtual here is a USB forwarding system that is really clever. So like you run the server on your machine, right? I believe that's correct. No, you run the server. I think you run the server on the end machine, like the cloud machine. And then you run the other side on your local machine. And what's cool is you can connect to, and we can actually see it. If I go back into Parsec and run this, it's looking for hubs. But what we're able to do, if I pull up the Stream Deck software, you'll see Chris XL. So this was like the layout for Chris's, right? And what's really neat is like you would set up your different devices in here, and then when you connect to it from your local machine, it sends this configuration from the cloud machine down to your Stream Deck, and when you push the button on your Stream Deck, it pushes the button in in the cloud machine. So like it's a way to very easily connect up remote things. I have a MIDI controller that has volume sliders and volume knobs and buttons. I was able to connect that up to this to control volume levels. It's really cool.
Nice. And just that, like, so I understand how OBS. So like I understand you built this on stream before and that was cool, but like could you also have built this locally and then saved the configuration and put it into a cloud thing? Or
that's
like
what I
did. Give it to me. Okay,
no, but that is what I did.
Okay, so OBS works like that, where you can kind of like save configuration.
Yeah, so if you look, you probably can't read it very well, but in the title bar, after OBS 27.2.4 64-bit Windows, it says portable mode. And now Robertables is going to run to the chat room to type portable_mode.txt. There's a file that you can put in your OBS directory that tells it to run from the settings that are in that folder.
Okay.
As opposed to having a globally installed version of OBS. This is just if we go into,
so you can like export your local settings and
this right here, this folder right here. This is the OBS folder, and here's that portable_mode.txt, which has absolutely nothing in it. OBS just looks for the existence of this file when it runs, And what it's going to do when it runs in this mode is everything that it would normally look for from the like global config, it's going to look in this config folder for it.
Yeah.
So all of the scenes, all of the profiles, it's going to pull them from this folder as opposed to looking for the global install on the machine, which is, yes, as Tofrog said, somewhere in app data. It's going to look inside this folder for all of that. So it's self-contained. So I could build in that folder. Everything's self-contained, and I do one thing to make sure that that's possible. I create this assets folder in there, which is where all of the images that I'm going to use, all of the lower thirds that I'm going to use, all of the different like shader filters, like anything that I'm going to use that's not sort of in the base, you know, any sort of images, I'm going to put those in here so that they move along with that folder. The only thing that will change are hardware sources. Yes, absolutely. Although what's really interesting with that is if you've pulled in a camera, it will try to find the camera at that index. So sometimes it'll work. It's weird. It's kind of wonky. Like it'll be like, oh, you were using the second camera on the system. Let me see if there's a camera that's the second camera on the system.
Got it.
But yeah, ultimately you probably want to go in there and make changes to that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, your question's valid. Like that's exactly how I build this stuff. My normal local setups for stream are built using portable mode because it's very easy also for me to duplicate that folder and like make some one-off changes without harming that setup.
Yeah. Something that wild that just happened is TwilioBot.
Yeah.
Or a little bot there. Posted with the colors of the blocks that you have sitting on screen.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's wild.
If we so that absolutely answers the question as to whether they're looking at screen content or not.
Yeah, they have to be. It's like a Tetris game for streamers.
Really, really funny. That's
yeah.
Man, that's creepy, but it's good.
A little bit. Yeah. Maybe it's just been up there for long enough. Cool. So yeah, maybe this is like, you know, the next iteration or the eventual iteration is once you rebuild everything, we can
I think we have to figure out I think we have to figure out like pricing ultimately. Like it's not too bad to keep this, you don't want to run it all the time.
No,
but
you don't need to run it all the time.
But I did set up at one point, I don't know if I still have it, but I set up Stream Deck buttons to start and stop the OB or like the AWS instance. Yeah. At one point, so that it's not set up now because we don't have the Parsec team account, but we had a Parsec team account, and this setup when you have the Parsec team account, when the AWS instance launches, it also launches Parsec. So like you could just hit the Stream Deck button to launch the instance. The instance will start up. As soon as it starts up, where's my local window? Because I'm connected. It'll show up in the list of Parsec instances that you can connect to, and then you can connect into it. So like it's very easy to say, okay, on demand, I want to start that up because we're gonna do a stream. It's also very easy to set up multiple screens, so I can connect a second and third screen to Parsec. So I can actually use all three of my monitors in this setup very easily to connect to it as well. So like it's a very cool solution for this. Yes, down the road we could definitely do this.
But you know, StreamYard's, I think StreamYard's a great first step there. And
I'm just gonna shut this down because it does cost money, and I'm paying for it.
Yeah, we gotta
so I'm gonna shut that down.
That's a big thing.
But then I can also show you once I close this out, I can show you where they show up here. So like you'll see what computers you have access to, and with the team setup, I could give, like, if you were on the Twilio team and Bianca was on the Twilio team and Chris was on the Twilio team, if that machine was running, it would show up in your Parsec to connect to, which is cool. Like that's what it's intended for.
And so in theory, I mean, I know we did this stuff with AWS. You could, in theory, also use your machine at home as a server for us to stream off of, although that's maybe a little...
Oh, totally. Like and that's an interesting potential. Like I have other machines in this house that aren't always doing stuff. And that's actually how we produced when I was, when I was at
Yeah.
my dad's, that's
Yeah.
effectively how I was producing from there. I was producing from my machine here in Twilio or in
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
It's one thing I missed after grad school is we had a giant, beefy, huge GPU computer sitting in the lab that we could all connect to do all of our like hardcore rendering or 3D modeling simulations and things like that. And that was nice to have.
Yeah. Bianca asked a question. What's some production tech that both of you would like to see? I'm going to let you answer that first. I've been talking.
I don't know enough about this stuff to know. I mean, StreamYard.
Say something you wish existed, and I'll tell you it already does. That would be fun. I'm just saying, like, what do you think would be interesting for you?
What I think would be interesting for me, it'd be. I'm trying to think of like I could see some AI stuff that would be interesting. Like I appreciate the bot, but like if you're solo streaming, if there was some way to like ping if there's something that they thought was useful in chat, that would be pretty cool. Like especially useful. I don't know. I don't stream enough to have a good idea.
That's fair.
Maybe the like gut check of is this working right? Do I sound okay? Like you see that? I don't always see that. And like even in StreamYard, like there's probably a way to control mic levels, but I don't totally know what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if there is. Oh wait,
I think it's in settings under audio. You can change your mic volume.
Yeah, my mic. Oh, I can edit your mic settings too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as host, as admin, whatever, you can edit those things.
Got it. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just getting started. OBS is like just too hard of a learning curve for me to have really gotten into yet. That doesn't mean I won't, but it's just like a little bit. I don't get it yet. And that's just I can figure that out. But
knowing what optimal levels are. So there's I mentioned earlier some creators that I value greatly. There's tons of creators that covered lots of stuff. I'm one of them, but I haven't done it in a long time. But like there's really great videos out there for like what volume things should be set to. Let me see if I can find that one video from Epos Fox. There's one that's really good because it talks about all of this sort of stuff. But I think for me, what I like to see from a production standpoint, I think I would like to see a tool like StreamYard. I was gonna say that's closer to like what OBS has. These exist. I would
is there like a hosted OBS instances where it's like the whole I forget what the name of that software that you used was, but like the whole connecting is done for you and you don't have to worry about it, and literally it's just set up the OBS stuff and then it's there in the cloud for you.
Yeah, so let me go back to here. So we were talking about IRL streaming earlier, right? And like what's involved in that process. So if you're out and about and you've got a backpack strapped to your back and you got a camera on your shoulder or in your hand or whatever, like that's not the time to be running OBS. You don't have a laptop, right? So what a lot of people use are these cloud OBS setups. The one that I was most recently using is this one called IRL Toolkit. The reason I was using IRL Toolkit is because it was built by people that are on the committing. They're like people that commit to OBS. Like they make changes that get committed into OBS Studio. Like they know the guts, right? And they built this full OBS in the cloud setup that I thought was really interesting because it actually, you don't have to connect to it using like some of these use virtual PC type stuff, like you got to connect with TeamViewer or whatever. This one, they built it so that you can access it from a browser. Like you can actually use OBS in a browser. This stuff's not like super cheap. It's actually somewhat pricey per month. But I was in the advanced tier. It's like $180 a month.
Yeah.
But it's full uptime. It's resolution is as much as you can push, bandwidth as much as you can push. It's all uncapped. You can you can multi-stream to multiple places. You can do 4K if your cameras support it, that kind of thing. But like, it is what you're talking about. It is an OBS in the cloud setup. Like that is something that we could look at using as well.
Yeah.
And we honestly could get away with 129 a month. And like, that's a valid solution. That would work 100%. So that's the thing. It's 2 shows at the Sphere. Yeah. Well, I mean, Tables, you know how much this costs, because we used to talk about this. Like, how sustainable would it be for me to continue doing IRL streams if the community's not, putting some money in the can? Because essentially anything that I would have been bringing in from streaming would have to go to it. And like, what I wanted to do was make that more of a full-time kind of thing, but it would require things like Patreon and like really determining content. What I wanted to do was travel. Like, I wanted to get the international, like the international bandwidth version of this, where like I could travel to Paris and it would work in Paris, and just like plan up content like that. But it's so much. Like, you really need to be bringing in money to pay for this stuff. It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
So it's one of those things where it's like,
cool.
Over some period of time, it makes more sense to build it yourself versus do that. But like, if you're capable, like,
the thing is, like,
build that yourself. The
thing is, like, I've obviously built a couple setups that are similar to what they're doing, but it's not as robust and redundant as like somebody hosting that on cloud servers that like are going to be rock solid. And if they're not, you're getting your money back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're gonna get your money back. This is an interesting piece of tech. So when I think about things that I would like to see, this is one that gets interesting to me. It's called EVMux, and this is like a bump up in terms of features from StreamYard.
Okay.
Because it does have things that we're missing, where like I think they actually support bringing in browser sources. So like with EVMux, I think we could have drop game. You know what I mean? Like, there's and they have custom layouts. I haven't played with this one yet to know. Like, I don't know who's behind it. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're going to be around forever.
It's the same price as StreamYard too.
It's very
cheaper,
very similar, if not cheaper in some levels, to what StreamYard has. I do think they also have local recording. So like, this is, people ask me like, what are you interested in? Like, what do you spend spare time at work on? Right? Like, a lot of, like, if I was thinking about like what's experimental for me, like we're supposed to do experimental projects or whatever, this to me, like exploring this stuff, looking at OBS plugins, looking at new platforms where we could go to, that's the stuff that I'm interested in, is like, how do we improve what we're doing with the tools that are out there that maybe I haven't tried yet, Here it is. Record and download your fully branded content. Split separate audio video downloads of each participant. Yeah. I mean, that's table stakes right now.
Yeah.
I think if a platform doesn't have that, it's kind of behind the times.
I have a weird, somewhat related question. What does the MUX stand for? I feel like I've seen that in a few places. Like, I used to use a lot of like TMUX to do like
MUX is like what, multi. It's short for multiplex, I think, maybe.
That makes sense, because I've used TMUX, which is something that I would use to basically remote into a console.
Yeah, MUX stands for multiplexer.
Okay. Yeah, I would remote into console, and the cool thing about TMUX is it would be running on like, in my case, a robot, and then if I ever got disconnected from the robot, I could go back in and connect to that session. Whereas like, if you're just doing other things, you lose the connection, you have to start over with a new session, and then you don't know what's running, and it's hard.
Yeah, TMUX is terminal multiplexer.
Terminal multiplexer. Yeah.
This has, I might have to explore this, Alex. This has like all the features.
Nice.
I think this has all the features that I'm missing with StreamYard. Now they have multicam now, but I think this one has more than one multicam. I think you can go. Well, I think this is the same person with 3 cameras.
Yeah.
so that's already a bigger thing. There's the ISO local recordings. Mm-hmm. So we know we need that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with EV Mux as well.
Yeah.
And maybe like ask our internal folks. Maybe we can check that out instead of StreamYard with the budget that I've requested. I don't know what it's gonna look like from an enterprise perspective, because that's probably what we end up having to get, because we need SSO typically.
Yeah. But it's
like $239 a month for professional. If we were like, we want professional, but like we don't need we don't need a ton of other stuff. Like I just need my IT people to be happy.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to pay up to make the IT
dedicated support manager, cross broadcast templates, full onboarding and training, live support chat, white glove solutions, unlimited storage, and concurrent broadcast. It's probably expensive, but anyways, it's worth asking.
But yeah, maybe who knows if they have any SSO.
Okay, so Bianca says, question for both: what do you feel like the future of live looks like? I ask because as much as people ask for authentic, there's a level of production they've become accustomed to, or they've come accustomed to expect. So I think, and this is something that came out of, I gotta find the TwitchCon session that this was in, but there was and it's great. If I can find it, I'll send all of you the link at some point. But it was talking
individually
about
by carrier pigeon.
Yeah. It was talking about what's the difference between a really well done live stream and one that's just kind of, going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
And the most effective that you can be as a live content creator is if the viewer thinks that their actions are consequential. In other words, you as the streamer, you are producing content, but the more involved your viewers can be in that content, the more successful that content will be. That word consequential is just like very intriguing to me. That could be as much as like, I'm actually reading chat and chat is providing direction for the stream. Or maybe I run a poll. Maybe I run a poll and that poll is, what are we doing next? Or you can set up all kinds of like reactionary alerts to things that happen in stream and that kind of thing. Like the more involved the viewer is, because that's the difference between live and recorded content, is the viewer's there now. Like the viewer can do things right now that can impact the stream. And I think as we move forward with tech and bandwidth and like how much resolution we can push, that stuff's all going to make it look better. And like you're talking about the production value, like that stuff's important, but the actual real-time feedback, the thing that makes live different is the most important thing. And the more you can play into that, I'm bummed because like we tried to do a thing that would have had real like viewer interaction at one point. Me and Gary Hawken, just like no longer at Twilio, we were doing a thing that was going to have direct viewer interaction with the code, the chat codes. Like, you could actually write with the thing that Gary had put together. You could actually write comments into the code editor on a specific line from Twitch chat. Yeah. So like,
that's cool.
Kind of wild, like that aspect of it. But like, I think this real time aspect is the most fundamental thing with live.
And it changes the because there's like, I guess there's almost like I almost think of it in three ways. There's, because when you were talking about live, the first thing that came to my mind was more like other styles of live production that aren't interactive, but they're still live, right? There's news broadcasts, SNL, things like that. But what you're talking about with
that stuff is becoming more democratized, but I'll let you go on.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say is though, it makes me think of like improv versus sketch comedy, right? They can both be live, but improv is the one that has input from the audience.
Yes.
And there's something about the thing I like about it is like, it doesn't need to be as good and as polished because it's like, you see that it's happening at the moment. And I think there's something special about that with this live stuff too, where it's it gives you a little bit more freedom to be. It's that weird thing of like, you want to be rough but still make it look really good.
Yes.
And like sometimes the rough edges or the silliness or the we don't quite know what we're talking about actually creates better content.
Yeah. So Bianca says, I guess another question is, why is real-time feedback better than general? It's not better. It's different.
It's just different. Yeah.
It's different. It's actionable. It's I could do a review. Let's say for sake of argument, let's rewind to Prime Day, which was the last streams that I did that were like, that I did consistent. Like I did a back-to-back, whatever. I did multiple hours worth of content there. I could have created TikToks and Instagram and YouTube videos for a bunch of products that I thought were going to be interesting for that. And I would get different feedback. I would get comments that I have to go in and respond to. And that's fine. The difference between doing that and going live for like 4 hours and just going through Amazon and finding really cool stuff is, at any point in time, someone would say, hey, I need a knife. Yeah. Okay, what kind of knife? What's your budget? And like, now I can express live that I know a bit about that. If you tell me you need like a $75 knife, well, we're going to go find you the best on sale Prime Day relative $75 knife. And if we have to research, I'm really good at figuring out who knows what they're talking about or not. And like, read reviews and go, oh, it's probably going to be this knife. And Robertables can attest, like, I do a decent job at picking products for folks.
Yeah. Here's the other thing I like about it is it's who's in the driver's seat of not the driver's seat, that's not the right way, but who's contributing to the content. And like, from my startup days, one of the biggest things was like, get out the door, go talk to people, see what they're doing. When you're on stream and doing it live, where there's where we have all these amazing people in chat giving us feedback, I'm out the door from the get-go. Versus like, if I'm creating a video, like what you're doing for your Prime example, you have to like guess what people are going to want. And you don't know if that's going to be super relevant for them or not. And you're like doing your best guess, and maybe you did research and all that, but there's something special about like, in that moment, you are interacting with people and you can get exactly what they want. And it almost just brings another level of, I mean, maybe it's empathy, but it's just like understanding of your viewer into it that you don't get otherwise.
Yeah, and it's not all impromptu. I do requests on the fly, as Tables is pointing out, but like during the weeks running up to it, I asked in multiple Discords, what are people looking for this year? Like, what can I help you save money on? Yeah. Also, as like a PSA, like, don't buy anything this month, because it's all going to be, if you're going to buy something on Amazon in May or in June, you best wait till July. If it's something that's likely to go on sale, I can guarantee you, if you're looking at it at June 15th and you don't need it today, buy it in mid-July when it's Prime Day. Like, you're not always thinking about that kind of stuff, but I am to an extent. And like, that was the kind of thing where I went out and I said, okay, what's everyone looking for? And I wrote down on Post-it notes that I still have on my desk. Like, I wrote down on Post-it notes. I've got one here. Like, Frackberg's wife needed a neck air conditioner, and Finite Singularity was looking for a Windows Mini PC. We had somebody that was looking for headphones, like noise canceling headphones, and someone wanted a spot cleaner for their rug. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I took notes, and
I should have had you do the search for me. I got a Dyson Prime Day, but I'm happy with my choice. But like,
it's good. Which one did you get?
I found on Woot a refurbished Dyson Detect one. Okay. It's pretty cool. It's got some tech ones. It's a stick one. It's got some tech that is weird. Like, it tells me the size of particles it picks up.
That's cool.
I don't care about that. The cool one is one of the heads has a laser on the ground, so right at ground level, so you can actually see all the crap on the ground that you couldn't normally see.
Cool. I don't have a Detect, but I like those features. Those are cool.
But it was a $600 or $700 vacuum that I got for $350 refurbished. So I'm like, okay, Sounds like a good deal.
All right, what's Bianca? What comes to mind is passive engagement versus people who are engaged, adding to the conversation. Yeah, absolutely. And like, I want to say, like, you know, some of those streams had 20 to 25 people in them, and the conversation's dominated by like 8 to 10 at any given time. You've got half your audience is just sort of lurking there. They're cool, but they're there, and they're like, they're important. And I think what's really interesting is like sometimes lurkers will activate. They'll just be like, you know, they hear a word and they come back, and like you know, they hear their name. Like you never know. Like people like Frackberg may have meetings during this stream, but it'll be on, right? It's there.
How many times do we need to say Frackberg before he shows up?
So we determined that for, you know, Frackberg, it might be Frackberg. But like, and
look,
for revertables, you just have to say Docker 3 times and Tables shows up. See what I mean? You can activate lurkers. We just activated Surly Dove.
And Pilfers.
Pilfers says marketing in a nutshell. Yes, but no. But yeah, definitely. Almost always, but not always. Maybe. Which, yeah, I mean, it's definitely. See, look, we activated Frackberg. I told you.
Pizza.
But to me, like you mentioned improv, you mentioned comedy. Are you familiar with Matt Rife?
I don't know. Am I?
You may be. If you look up Matt Rife, you may. Matt Rife is the person that's like, I think, the best at audience interaction.
I'm not. But...
If you have not seen this person, you need to watch some of their content.
Okay.
You know, not on stream. It's not all safe for work. But you know, as most comedy, it gets a little raunchy. But like, I think this dude might have some of the best audience interaction that you're likely to see.
Okay.
He's
I'll check that out.
Good at crowd work.
There's like that one
kind
of like musician rapper guy who like does everything based on like what people request in the crowd, and like people love him. I can't even remember the guy's name, but he went on tour, and I have some friends went, and it was it Mark something. But people love his music's fine, but it's more so just like the fact that somebody can yell something out and he'll make a song out of it. It's just wild.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I think we have so much technology for interactivity, and I think it's largely untapped in this space. There are people that are very good at it. I mentioned BB Jess earlier. Like, check, it's literally just BB Jess. Check her out at some point if you want to see like what does it look like when somebody goes maybe too far with interactivity. But like, yeah, it's on Twitch. I think the live aspect, the interaction aspect is the big deal here. And like, the more you can do to tap into the audience, the participants, the people that are there to be active, the more you can tap into that stuff, the better.
Yeah. I like that. I think that there's just something really magical about that experience. And sometimes my favorite part about giving live talks or webinars is the Q&A at the end. Like, I like hearing what people have to say and answering their questions. And I think that gives a special experience for people, right? You don't always get to go and ask your questions and have someone listen to you. I think that's cool.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. We are pushing time. It does not feel like we have been at this for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I know we have. And look, even though she wasn't here on camera with us, Bianca, full participant. Thank you. Thanks everybody in chat.
Bianca,
this is why we do this.
Bianca is here in participation form, asking questions the way Bianca always does. It's good stuff.
Yeah, insightful. Well, we made this whole, I can push buttons and things happen. Love it. I can just highlight me. How do I highlight you?
The little solo layout on my camera, top left of the camera frame.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that one. Yeah,
got it. We've I think this is exciting. I'm happy that I still like our other setup in OBS, but I'm happy that we now have a way to let you not always be here at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
to
and
stream.
I think next Tuesday, you should run the show.
Sweet. Means I can't
I'll
build
be
something,
here.
so
Like I'll
we'll
be
have to-
around, but
yeah.
I'll be around. But I think next week you should run this. Push all the buttons.
Unless we decide to do a build, because I can't run this and code at the same. It's gonna be too much.
Okay. If you decide to do a build, we can use the. We can go.
Or B. Lori can run it too.
That is true. We can. I think
Bianca
we have
can
one
run
more.
it.
We have one more seat. We have one more seat, so that's an option.
So we'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll see what we're gonna do next week.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Joys of this stream. We hop on and let you guys drive, and that's fun. Well, we
I wonder if there's. We don't often do this, but I wonder if there's somebody that we could raid to. Because I don't have. The interesting thing is I do not have a thanks for watching on this one.
Oh.
So that's fun. Does anybody know if there's anybody in the dev community that's streaming right now that we could potentially raid over to? Often ask the audience, like, who would you want to go watch right now if you weren't watching us? Which, thank you for watching us instead. But like, is there somebody else that's streaming that we could go over to? I'm gonna look and see if there's anybody we know too. I would prefer to raid somebody we know, given that we're probably gonna bounce. But I'm not seeing any of my normal raid targets. Time to fire it up, Robertables. Yeah, I think we'll do a raid. We'll do a raid next week. We're just gonna go straight to offline. I can't find anybody that I know well enough to to like raid and dash. I always feel weird doing that. I kind of feel weird doing that.
Robertables, can you get on Tofrog? Come on.
somebody
wants to fire up a stream.
Somebody go live. Yeah, these are folks. Thank you for mentioning folks in chat, Jandra and Pilfers. Like, I need to go meet some new people in the dev community. There's a lot of new dev streamers that were not dev streamers. Like, these people didn't exist when we started a long time ago. But yeah, thanks Alex for the opportunity to be here. Yes, Frackberg streams bike rides, like IRL bike rides.
I like that.
As well as in home bike rides. And Robertables is a mostly retired streamer.
Wait, I have a weird idea for a stream, and should I drop it now, or should we talk about it?
Go for it.
I think it would be funny to do some sort of a coding competition, and I'm gonna nominate Tofrog, because I know he also got one, where we have stationary bikes and we have to be on stationary bikes and holding a certain amount of like there's some sort of race about like coding and biking.
I have one as well.
Oh, you have one too. So like, I think that could be kind of a silly little a stream where
it could be good.
All sweating and huffing and puffing, trying to like code while biking.
That yes, I'm down.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna set that up, but one day.
That's fun. That is really fun. All right, folks.
I dream.
I think that's all we've got for. I think that's all we've got for this week.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next week. I still intend to light up on a day that's not Tuesday. On this channel as well. Maybe that'll be this week. The last couple weeks have just been bad. Had some personal life stuff that prevented last week. I was going to stream on Friday, but had to deal with some stuff on Friday that wasn't super fun, so didn't happen. But stay tuned. It's honestly, it's going to be more of this kind of content. If you liked this stream where we were talking about all this stream stuff, that is what I intend to bring to the Friday stream whenever that starts happening. I want to get back to covering stream tech. Ultimately, it's fun.
Nice.
But thanks, Alex.
Thanks Brent.
Again, and bye everyone. We'll see you again real soon. Bye.